Okay, yes, this is Sean again, the SIXDAWG fan page. We yes, we got roughed up a little, chased out of the old Westchester Mall. Yeah, I know, they got me pretty good too, Yeti. Thanks for helping me out of that jam. Luckily, this man is incredibly violent when he gets riled. Yeah, kind of funny that happened when we were bringing up boners and bitches. I guess that was the straw that broke the camel's back, wouldn't you say? Apparently they didn't want that filth talked about. Yeah, they heard that and that was it. I guess that was the last straw. Okay, here I am. This is part 2, which was going to be one continuous interview, but the authorities saw fit to abuse and mangle us beyond belief. But we're back. And, okay, I'm here with Yeti. And Yeti, I'm going to ask the same question again. Let's not get off the topic here. All right? I know the authorities were summoned. I don't know how that came about. I know this is a touchy subject. I don't know if your public relations team sicked the cops on me on purpose. I remember the last time I tried to venture an interview with you, I ended up in the hospital. So, let's, that was not something, yeah. I mean, my back was almost broken. Yeah, it was like, it was pretty bad. But, alright, so, Yeti, the fans still want to know, why did the song, album, Boners and Bitches never get released? Fans want to know that. Please tell us why.
Sean, I like to know myself. I do not know. I remember, as I was telling you in the car ride over here, I remember discussing the project with Keith and Martin in Keith's kitchen one day at length. We all liked that title, had a nice kick to it. Boners and Bitches sounds badass. But for some reason, I guess, just, it never happened, I don't know if it was a scheduling, people's schedules conflicted, or who knows what. People were killed again. Like, people would get killed a lot in SIXDAWG.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
They get run over, they explode, they implode, arrested.
People are their beatings.
Beat down, anything. Arrests, harassed.
Fire, people breathing fire.
It's complicated. But yeah,
windows getting smashed of cars being vandalized.
That never came to fruition for some reason, and I can't give the fans a straight answer. I wish I could. Yeah. Perhaps maybe Keith could shed some more light on this at a later date. I'd like to know myself.
Well, who was influential in coming up with that name, coming up with that subject matter? I mean, it's pretty,
I believe that was Martin pretty much was going to be the one, putting that together.
Right, okay.
I guess he had some kind of a concept, for SIXDAWG at that point that he wanted to, go with, and it just never happened. It's a mystery. It may remain a mystery for the rest of time.
Okay.
Or, who knows, someday it'll be released. Fans will just have to wait. They're very patient. We just ask them to please continue to be patient, SIXDAWG is very complicated, It's not just some little thing. There's a lot of forces involved, a lot of people, a lot of everything. So, things take time, but we'll see.
All right. A fair answer. I'd have to agree. I'm sure there was a concept behind it. And, I guess the SIXDAWG album that could have been, maybe, still could be in the future. Unreleased artists, unreleased stuff is getting released all the time by a lot of these bands. And who knows, maybe Boners and Bitches will see the light of day at some point in time. But I don't maybe really foresee it in the very near future, but, hey, what do I know? Could be. Could have been.
Just stay tuned. That's the main thing. Stay tuned.
Very good, very good. All right, Yeti. Question that has been on the mind of many a SIXDAWG fan, maybe even some SIXDAWG members. Why was there so much turnover in SIXDAWG regarding the members and positions? I mean, was it almost always artistic differences, or was there something more at work to undermine the sacred structure of of the band at different times in SIXDAWG's history? Please, if you could, elaborate for the fans.
No, a very good question, very fair question that the fans, I'm sure you all want to know. Like I mentioned before, and as some people know, there's a lot of personality differences, that's with any band, It's hard to keep a group of people together sometimes. People get very passionate about their opinions and whatnot. Sometimes these things boil over. And some people, they're like, come out of here. Or they get booted out. It's just very... Oh, Sean. It goes so deep sometimes.
It hurts sometimes, doesn't it?
It does.
You think about it. Because you think of dreams that could have been. Shows that could have been played.
So many people have come and gone over the years, and I wish they could have stayed. I wish we could all be one big happy family,
Egos, would you say egos?
Yes.
Egos clash.
Egos clash. They bounce off each other. They.
A lot of immaturity in some members in the past.
Yes, you could say that. You could say that.
We all know, who and when I'm talking about.
Right.
At certain times, maybe substance abuse.
Whoa.
Played
Perhaps. I wouldn't know. I don't know. I don't get into those things.
Who knows? We all have our demons. We all have our skeletons.
I'll say.
It is dog history.
Personalities, and you mix in, people's personal lives, their schedules, and families. It's not all negative things. Sometimes, people have families that they need to devote their time to, and things come up in life. And sometimes the band has to take a back seat.
Just the other day, I was reading about Peter Criss being heartbroken about what Ace,
What happened? What did I miss?
Oh, I don't know. Something with
about
Ace.
Their history.
Yeah, some new book he wrote. And he was heartbroken. He was complaining about something. Peter Criss.
Right. Sometimes bands equal drama, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And SIXDAWG is one of those bands.
Yeah.
So that's just how it is. In some ways that's part of the charm of SIXDAWG,
That
in
is.
a way.
That is some of the charm.
That's just how it is.
But we always dream, what would a drama-free SIXDAWG
I know.
Like,
That'd be a whole other universe.
And
Whole other parallel universe. Perhaps. But some things aren't meant to be.
Some of the Metallica venues right now, I think.
Maybe it just wasn't meant to be. But we had what we had, and we have what we have still.
Maybe play Woodstock. That's the behest of Dave Mustaine.
Behest.
Possibly. I don't know.
Right.
You never know what could have been.
Clash of the Titans featuring SIXDAWG.
Exactly.
And Testament and Megadeth.
That would have been very cool.
And Slayer.
I would have liked to have seen that show.
Yeah.
All right, I would have gotten my ticket very early. And I know a lot of other dog disciples would have too.
Right.
But SIXDAWG's still alive in the hearts and minds of many people.
We're still here. We're still alive.
Still doing what we do. Trudging away, and hey,
So just stay tuned. That's the theme of this interview.
If you don't try, you're not going to get anywhere.
Exactly. Does that answer the question?
I believe we've covered that question adequately. All right, YETI. There has been much debate regarding the following question. Some might say it has been a bone of contention. So much so that it almost didn't make the list.
Really?
Yeah. I really was hesitant to put this on the list, but the fans were hounding me.
Okay.
And they demand an answer from you, YETI.
Certainly.
Demand an answer from you. Now, in the past, when Stephen Yokowski, all right, lovable guitarist of SIXDAWG, present. Well, little tidbit, he was a guitarist in SIXDAWG past. And he was part of the lineup. Now, this goes to definition, really. Now, when he was part of the lineup, regarding his musical duties pertaining to SIXDAWG, at that time in particular, was his membership then considered official, or was it in fact that on those prior occasions that his status within the band was considered to be that of touring guitarist?
He's loading this question up for me.
No more, no less. Please elaborate at length,
Oh,
Yeti.
God, length.
Please elaborate at length.
I can make it short and sweet. As far as I know, Steve was never considered a member of SIXDAWG. He was hired strictly as a touring guitarist, as far as I know. I could be wrong, you know. I'm sorry, I'm very sorry. Like I said, in case you didn't hear me, as far as I know, Steve was hired strictly as a touring guitarist, you know. He was never considered a full-time member of SIXDAWG. But I could be wrong. That's as far as I know. Now, Steve is a very dear friend of ours, very talented guy.
Has very many successful bands of his own.
Yes, many. Many.
You know, a legend in the scene in his own right.
Right.
You know, a legend in the scene in his own right. Maybe you've heard of the great band Set Theory, Bricks,
Yes.
Boink.
Boing. The list goes on.
You know, many musicians have collaborated with Steve on many a project. And let me clarify, you know, Steve is now the guitarist for SIXDAWG. He is a present
What?
member of SIXDAWG.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Have you not been following the events on the page?
Not closely enough.
Not religiously, I say. A little disappointed, Yeti. That's okay. I'm a forgiving administrator. Yeah, no, he's yes, please. Any thoughts?
Yeah, it wasn't any big deal, but yeah, as far as I know, Steve was just hired to help out, basically. Not to belittle him in any way, you know. You know, he's very talented. You know, he stepped in at a moment's notice. You know, learn the material. It's very difficult material to learn. And he was able to do that within days of a show. Sometimes even with less time than that, hours of a show. He was able to step in and fill in, you know. So, you know, Steve was always very busy with his other projects, so I didn't think he would have time to be an official member of SIXDAWG. You know?
Yes, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. I don't know why there was always this confusion about that. I thought it was just known that he was a touring member.
Fans were under the impression there was like, you know, it's kind of like one of those things. Was he a legitimate member of SIXDAWG? Was he not?
No.
I myself, you just answered the question for me. I never knew.
No. Nine.
It was now clarified. Thank you.
But apparently now he is.
Yes, to my knowledge, yes. I believe he is. Unless anything catastrophic or calamitous may have occurred between the past few hours.
God.
Now, we're going to move right along. I'm going to go back to some of the, you know, lighter questions, not so controversial. For a span, we will, all right? What kind of drum kit, you know, drums and cymbals, respectively, did you use when you were an active member in SIXDAWG?
Oh, cool question.
Brand? Yeah.
Well, way back in the beginning when the band started, I used some kind of, I don't even know what it was, some kind of old kit that Keith's father had found, I guess, you know, scrap somewhere. One of his jobs, you know.
One of the many treasures that was unearthed.
Right. You know, it was a good kit and it held up for a while. You know, the kids used to draw on it. Keith's younger brothers and sisters, you know. They would draw on the actual drums and on the cymbals. And we used to rehearse in Keith's bedroom in New Rochelle, up in his house. So that drum set was around for a little while, and then eventually Keith graciously bought a kit for the band for me to use. A nice Pearl Export, a black Pearl Export kit. And then eventually I added my own hardware and my own cymbals to it. And that's a drum set that I toured with for many, many years. You know, many, many tours in many different countries, all over the place, like Malaysia, Africa, Antarctica.
Wow.
The drum set went everywhere.
There were any SIXDAWG shows in Antarctica.
Yes, there were.
Shows you, you know, I mean, there was a few years I wasn't around, too. So.
Right, yeah, you missed those, but
Yeah,
it went all over the world with me. It still exists to this day, you know. So yeah, Pearl Export. I had all kinds of cymbals. I had Zildjian cymbals.
Zildjian.
Sabian, Peisty. Am I leaving anything out? Hardware, Yamaha hardware, DW, kick drum pedal, you know, Tama drum stands, cymbal stands, excuse me. Did I say Yamaha? I think I said Yamaha. Gibraltar, all those brands, they were all good to me, you know.
So that's what you used
Yes.
when you played for SIXDAWG?
I had a mishmash of equipment.
Okay.
Hardware.
That actually leads me into my next question, if I may. That leads me into my next question.
Sorry.
What kind of equipment do you prefer using ideally?
Oh, ideally? Wow.
For optimum performance.
Well, there's a drum company called YETI. I think that's how you pronounce it. AYOTTE. It's a very high-end drum company.
All right.
Sets of 5,000 and up. That's what I prefer to use, like in the studio and for special shows, such as Malaysia and Africa and Australia and Antarctica, those places.
For the penguins, I
right,
imagine.
right. Because, you know, they can withstand the frigid air of Antarctica.
And do the
those
drums,
YETI drums.
Do they withstand the frigid air?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
That's what I said. I think that's what I just said.
Very prodigious
Hi.
man.
They're going to kick us out. No, I'm just kidding. And also I use ProMark. Oops. Wait a minute. Scratch that. Not ProMark. There goes my endorsement. What are the sticks that I used to use? I'm going blank. I'm sorry, fans. Oh, my God. This is terrible. I'm going to lose my endorsement. I forgot the name of the sticks that I used to use. All right, never mind. Next question.
All right, you got that here first, kids. YETI is not sure what drumsticks he used. Apparently, you know, hard life on the road, that does that to you, you know. There's a few variables that factor into that, but we're not gonna touch on those. We're gonna let YETI slide on this one. We're gonna let YETI slide on this one. Now, YETI, what do you think that the future holds for yourself and SIXDAWG, respectively?
Wow, good question. Hopefully SIXDAWG will continue into the future. You know, there's a lot of things I hear on the horizon, a lot of things planned that hopefully will come to fruition. As for myself, hopefully someday I can jump back in there with SIXDAWG.
With your cybernetic arm?
Yes. Hopefully someday. You know what I mean, for a show or two here and there or on a permanent basis. Only time will tell. I hope I can. You know, I love playing the SIXDAWG. It's a lot of fun over the years.
Well, you're much beloved by the dog disciples.
I would hope so.
Dog disciples, you know, you're a legend in dog history. That would be anyone would be a fool to say otherwise. So.
Yes.
So, you know. Okay. I think that's a fair answer and illuminates a great deal for the dog disciples out there. Now, what is life like being an inactive member on the roster? I mean, do you still play from time to time?
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, just recently, I was attempting to play with our friend Jano Lantern, Mr. Gregory Janicombe, which some fans may or may not know, from Set Theory and other projects from over the years. I rehearsed with him twice for his solo project. What's it called?
I'm not sure.
I'm going blank again. The Bluesgrass project. Like it's folksy acoustic stuff.
Blues Traveler?
Not Blues Traveler.
I'm not sure. Let me see. Yeah, let me think. No, I can't think of that one. All right, let's move right along to the next question. Okay, what are your Halloween plans?
Oh my God, who knows? Some of my friends are planning to do a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory themed thing. Their costumes.
Party?
Not a party. They're gonna all be characters from the movie. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
COS play? I don't understand.
Say what?
I think they call that when you role play, you take on the role.
COS
of
play.
character.
I never heard that term.
Yeah, well, I think they use that for like Marvel characters.
I don't know if it's role playing. Just gonna.
Costume play. That's what they call it.
It's just costumes, no role playing.
Okay, well, I
as
don't
far
know.
as I know.
mean, Yeti, you know.
But they want.
Crowd you run with these days, you know.
You don't want to know. But yeah, they want me to either be Slugworth or an Oompa Loompa, which.
I don't think you'd
No.
be a convincing Oompa Loompa as your.
I'd be the world's tallest Oompa Loompa, apparently. I'm not doing that. Like I said, also Slugworth, but I'm not into that either. So I don't know what I'm going to do this year. Last year I was Jimi Hendrix for Halloween, and also the year before that. But Jimmy's retired for this year, so I don't know what I'm going to do for Halloween yet. We'll see.
All right. A very fair question.
Fair and balanced.
As we always like to be fair and balanced here on the SIXDAWG fan page. You know, I have been told in the past that I run things as an authoritarian with an iron fist.
Greg Francis, that's the name of the project.
What is
Sorry, fans. Gregory Francis, that's the name of the project I was doing with.
Is that project still
Channel
around, or
YETI.
is that defunct?
It's around.
I thought the page was torn down.
No, it's been revived. Just recently.
Yeah, that must be
These
very
people
recent.
may not very recent, like within the last
Very recent.
3-4 weeks.
I was under the impression that
Yeah.
it was,
I rehearsed with them
dissolved.
twice, and then my tendonitis flared up,
Mhm.
so I had to drop out of that too. This is just recently, yeah. Fortunately.
All right. Okay, so we covered his Halloween plans, and we found out a little extra tidbit that Yeti threw in there for good measure. All right, Sal. What do you, Akil, Yeti, James, think about the SIXDAWG fan page? Do you have any suggestions on how we could possibly improve it?
I mostly love what I've seen so far. In the past, there was a lot of drama being hashed out on the fan page,
I would have to agree.
which I didn't like that. And
I didn't really like it myself.
at one point, I had to step in and put in my 2 cents
And
worth.
say no.
Exactly. No.
Put down, and that was it.
It was kind of a little silly.
Actually, may I?
Yes,
I have a little tidbit to add to that. It's kind of funny because there was a lot of drama actually going on back and forth at that time that he's referencing, and yet he came in, said no, and that was it. End of discussion. All right, he put a stop to that very quickly.
Damn.
All right, people respect the Yeti. You know, no one ever wants to step to him because they know it's going to be hell to pay. There's going to be hell to pay. All right, so I'm going to keep going here. We're getting close to the end. Now, what was your favorite live performance?
Oh my God.
That is right, Yeti. I'm dredging this one up. What was your favorite live performance with the illustrious SIXDAWG?
Sean, I hate these questions. Why do you ask me these questions? I have to pick one specific thing. Oh my God. Well, there's many shows that, were highlights of our career. There was a show that was busted up by the police, I believe. Where was that? In Long Island somewhere? Where was that? Brooklyn, Queens, one of those places. Do you remember?
I think at that time I may not have been present.
You weren't there?
I may not have been there.
I'm sorry. I thought he was there. But
If I was, I may have taken too many baton shots to the head, and my memory may be impaired, but
okay,
to
well,
my recollection, I was not there.
Yeah, the show that was busted up by police, that was a highlight. That was interesting. Any of the CBGB's gigs, of course, were highlights. Very prestigious place to play. Where else? We played in Eastchester, outdoors, 2005. That was a very interesting gig. Of course, Malaysia, Australia, Africa, Antarctica.
Yes, all right.
Those are all highlights.
Classic venues.
Yeah. Any of the city gigs were cool to play.
Do you have one? Do you have one that's a favorite?
No, I do not.
You do not.
And if you gave me some more time to think about it, I could think back in time, but not right now.
Oh, where have you played? You played CBGB.
God, all over the globe.
Spiral.
Played there a lot of times in Spiral. I remember that.
I'm thinking of some places down
Houston
in the
Street.
city.
Well, I said any of the city gigs were highlights. I'm sorry.
There's always the classic Lowdown.
How could I forget the Lowdown? Yeah.
Blackthorn.
Blackthorn, the Bronx.
Henry in the Lowdown. Shakers.
I know. There's so many.
There's a lot.
They were all great.
What's the one that was on Central Avenue up near Hartsdale?
Oh, that little restaurant? It's a
Yeah,
restaurant now.
Bronte?
I can't remember the name of it, but
you know
Central
what I'm
Ave.
talking
Central
about,
Ave.
yeah. Did you guys play Victor's at all?
Victor's. Where was Victor's?
I think it's up in like
Hawthorne
or something.
Yeah, SIXDAWG did do one show there, and that's right.
Okay, see? How come I'm
That was definitely a highlight. Hawthorne, New York.
All right, so how come I'm dredging this
I'm
stuff
sorry. My memory is
You're
very
talking
spotty.
About Malaysia, Antarctica?
That I remember.
The close to home.
I remember Malaysia and Antarctica and Africa and
All right.
Australia.
Well, out of the ones that I threw out there, which would you say?
The CBGB's 99 gig,
Okay.
which I believe is available on the fan site.
Yes,
There's
that
a
one
video.
that is many.
And audio.
Show.
No, audio.
Yeah, it's audio.
Right.
But I think
Yeah, bootlegged.
Paul said that was his favorite show too.
I'll choose that one for now.
All right.
I may change it at a later date.
Yeah, I think he liked that one too.
That was a great show.
I could be wrong. I mean, I was drinking a lot on it, so who knows?
Right.
I mean, but it might have been that. All right.
What the hell is this? Is that a fan?
No,
We'll see.
I don't know.
If they don't pull a gun on us, yes, I would say they're a fan. All right, so here we go. We are coming close to the end now. Now, I asked Mr. James his favorite venue, and he said the CBGB's 99 show was his favorite venue. Lastly, YETI, and this is the last question now.
Fans like this.
Yeah.
Yes, the dog disciples are everywhere. They'll strike when you least expect it, looking for autographs.
I know.
And maybe some raw flesh, depending on how serious they are into memento collecting. Lastly, YETI, do you have any advice or suggestions for SIXDAWG and the members that comprise it today, and for the SIXDAWG of the future? Will you possibly rejoin us at some point at an unspecified time? Further on in the timeline of life?
Perhaps.
Could you elaborate on that? Spell it out clearly for us, if you would be so kind.
Yes, sir. And like I said, I'm still here, and everyone else involved with the band in the past is still here. So anything is possible in the future. People come and go, and hopefully we'll be coming back around again. Hopefully I'll get my bionic arms attached sooner than later, and I'll be back in there playing. Any advice for SIXDAWG? Is that what you asked me?
Yes.
For the members, I would say just stay alive, Stay healthy and stay alive so, we can give the fans more of what they expect and more of what they want, which is SIXDAWG. Right? What more would you ask for?
What more would you want to ask?
What more would you or could you ask for?
Yes.
What more is there?
Want to.
Right.
Or even want to ask for.
Mm-hmm. There's nothing else that I can think of in life that you would need or want other than SIXDAWG.
All right.
So yeah, just stay healthy. Fans, stay healthy. We'd like to see you out there. We don't want to lose any fans.
And the members too.
Right.
You know?
Everyone just stay healthy.
Take care of yourself.
Stay alive. Take care of yourselves. And yeah.
All right. Very good.
All right, well, thank you, Akil YETI James, for taking the time out of your day and sitting down with me to discuss yourself and SIXDAWG on our special Halloween edition of the SIXDAWG Fan Forum, which, I remind our viewers, can only be seen here on the SIXDAWG fan page. Thank you, Akil.
You're welcome.
Any message for the fans?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you, Sean. Thank you for interviewing me. Thank you for all that you do with the website, the fan site. It's a good thing. Keeps the spirit alive. Sometimes you help keep it alive more so than the band members themselves. Even myself. I was directed at myself. What were you gonna ask, sir?
I was going to say, well, I try to keep the love of SIXDAWG alive in everyone's hearts. I know it's a lot of people are very nostalgic lately for the scene.
Right.
Common Bond back when, back in the late 90s.
Are they back?
Common Bond? I've heard rumblings. Yeah, there's a few bands doing their thing lately. It's kind of inspiring, actually. I'd love to get like a whole Common Bond reunion show.
Right.
The old bands, the classic bands.
Take some effort.
That may be taking like heaven and earth to move.
Scattered all about.
I'd love to do a tribute to Henry and the Lowdown. It was that was like one of the venues that really started off a lot of the bands.
Right, exactly.
And I'm not ashamed to say it. I mean, it was one of my favorite venues, even though,
Mine as well.
some people said, oh, it's a hole in the wall. I said, hey, you don't know, the place had character, the place had spirit.
Tons of characters.
Henry would give you a chance, I mean, there was a couple of brawls in there.
Right.
I saw Henry under a bar stool once or twice. Yeah, I don't know if you remember exactly what I'm referring to, but things got a little rough and tumble in there. But hey, that's our blood, sweat, and tears, my friend. Blood, sweat, and tears. Okay, thank you, Akil. And from me and everyone in the SIXDAWG, and to all the dog disciples out there, have a happy and safe Halloween. Happy Halloween from myself, Akil.
Yes, happy Halloween.
All right, and this is the SIXDAWG fan page. SIXDAWG fan forum. Sean, signing off with Akil YETI James, classic and legendary drummer of SIXDAWG, and we're gonna sign off with that, and we'll have further updates in the future. Keep it tuned here to the SIXDAWG fan page for further updates on all things SIXDAWG.
Here first.
And all right, and thank you for tuning in. And it's always a pleasure to serve all my dog disciples out there.
Yes, let's move in here.
Thank
Goodbye, fans. We love you. I love you.